Hello and welcome to my weekly roundup of news from the cycling world. Specialised in launching snazzy new shoes, a quick first look at the brand new Wilier Filante test bike behind me, some great looking new race bikes from Trek, and sadly no more Mavic yellow support cars at the Tour de France this year. Let's dive in. Specialized has been busy working on a brand new shoe claimed to make you 10 seconds faster over 10 kilometers and reduce power output by 7 watts. Sounds amazing, right? But how can a shoe make you faster? They've been designed to be as efficient and powerful as possible. So it's not all about aero because, well, they don't look very aero, do they? It's all about the fit and contact surface area. So it's about securely strapping the feet into place, preventing your feet moving around while avoiding pressure hotspots. You know, sprinters always tighten their shoes before a sprint finish, right? Well, these were actually developed with Sam Bennett with the aim to deliver race distance comfort and sprint stiffness performance. Compared to the current S-Works 7 shoes, which I have here, the closure system is totally different with offset bow dials compared to these which are in line. And the idea is to better spread pressure over a larger surface area on top of the foot and better lock the foot in place, stopping it rolling around in the 1000 watt surges in a sprint finish. They've also sought more comfort and now use a Dynamo reinforced tongueless sock liner. Now my only complaint with these shoes, as good as they are, is that the tongue can move around. So the idea of that sock liner should remedy that issue on these new shoes. There's also the familiar body geometry tech that I personally get on really well with. Introduced over a decade ago, you've got the Varus wedge, the longitudinal arch and the metatarsal button, and a choice of 3 insoles and custom insoles as well. The carbon fibre sole appears to be the same as these as well, with a fact powerline design and a stiffness rating of 15, whatever that means, but it's clearly off the scale. But these shoes, in my experience, don't flex at all, so the new shoes should be just as good as these in that department. So Specialized is claiming these new shoes are 1% faster than its old shoes and has used pressure mapping to show a 20% increase in contact surface area. How much for this extra speed? £375, or get a pro contract and you get the shoes for free. And the name, if you're wondering, Ares is a Greek god of courage and war, so quite a cool name. If you follow any pros on Strava, you'll know the vast majority are out in sunny Spain or Tenerife racking up some serious training miles. I'm not jealous at all, as I look outside and it's hammering with rain. But Trek-Segafredo has shared some images and also details of their 2021 race bikes, so let's have a closer look. The team is once again sponsoring a men and women's outfit, which is great to see, and they're all riding either the latest Madone SLR or the Emonda SLR. And which they choose comes down to rider preference and the demands of the racer in, so whether they need an aero bike for a sprint finish or a lightweight bike for climbing in the mountains. They'll also have a Madone endurance bike for Paris-Roubaix and cobble races and a speed concept time trial bike for, well, time trials. So 2 great looking bikes, 2 very different paint jobs, but which you like best? Well, let me know in the comment section down below. And like last year, the bikes are kitted out with the latest SRAM Red E-Tap Access 12-speed group sets and all disc brakes as well. They're using the latest 1028 cassette with a choice of 3 cranksets, 5037, 5239 and 5434. Now those last 2 sizes aren't listed on the SRAM website. The biggest you can buy is a 5037, so clearly producing 2 bigger chain sets for the pro riders, possibly devoid of 10-2 sprocket. I don't know, love to know why. But these new cranksets you can't buy, but I assume they'll be available to buy at some point. So an interesting little detail on these pro bikes here. From SRAM to Bontrager for the latest RSL and XXX wheels with a choice of Pirelli P0 tubular and tubular tyres. Now it'd be interesting to see what tyres they used this year because last year we saw them dabbling with tubulars. And I know from speaking to them that Pirelli had put a lot of time and effort into their new tubular tyres. You can see my video with them linked above if you missed that. And their tyres are fantastic with easy installation and great performance out on the road. So it'd be fascinating to see whether the team do use tubulars at any point in the season this year, and I'll definitely be keeping an eye on what tyres they're using as the races resume going into 2021. The Tour de France is as famous for the yellow Mavic support cars as it is for the actual racing, and the news that rocked some corners of the cycling community this week, the French company will no longer be a fixture at the Tour de France or any ASO organised races for that matter. Shimano have replaced them with their iconic blue cars. So yellow's out and blue is in. Now it's a big shame, of course. The yellow cars and bikes are iconic, but this is business. Mavic has been through some tough times, as we all know, and they have to pay to provide the neutral support at these races. And I'm sure it's a cost-saving thing, or they are simply outbid by Shimano. For me though, it raises the question of whether you actually need neutral support at a World Tour bike race, especially with disc brakes, different size rotors, and especially with SRAM and Campag being on 12 speed, but not compatible with each other, and Shimano of course on 11 speed. So taking a spare wheel isn't that straightforward. And these days, support more likely comes from a team car, either a spare wheel from the back of the car or a complete spare bike from the roof of the car. But let me know what you think down below. There have been some iconic Mavic neutral support moments, and for me, probably the best one was when Jens Voigt took a Mavic support bike that was way too small for him, and it didn't have the right pedals, it had toe clips and straps, just a comedy of errors, and really highlights the fact that neutral support often doesn't work. Can you imagine that happening today? A more recent example was Chris Froome on Mont Ventoux just a couple of years ago, which I'm sure you all remember, the famous running incident. So he took a Mavic support bike in the end, a yellow painted Canyon at the time, and it had look pedals, not the Shimano SPD SL pedals that Chris Froome used. So the bike wasn't the right size for him, and he couldn't clip in, and it was a disaster. And it wasn't until his team car arrived and he got back on his own spare bike that he carried on racing. And since then, Mavic addressed the issue of the bikes with different pedal systems, so Speedplay, Look and Shimano, and using dropper posts so a ride could better fit the bike, but still not perfect, and it's not really until you get your own team bike that you can carry on racing. So an interesting one, but no more Mavic, now Shimano, blue instead of yellow, but I still don't think there's much need for neutral support in this day and age of modern racing. And finally, a quick glimpse at my latest test bike, which arrived yesterday, the brand new and very sexy Wilier Filante SLR. Can't wait to ride this bike. I'm waiting for it to stop raining and I'll take it out and test it. And there will of course be a review on my channel here, so make sure if you want to see my review on this bike, you'll subscribe to my channel by clicking that red button down below. Now you might have seen my review on the Wilier Zero SLR last year, link above if you missed that. And that was the company's lightweight bike, and it really impressed me with ride quality and great handling and looks sensational. And this bike, well, it's a brand new aero bike with all the latest aero understanding, and it looks absolutely stunning. I particularly like the gloss red, much nicer and posher looking than the matte red on the Zero SLR. Got all the aero integration with a really neat handlebar and stem design, and they really smoothed off the seat clamp nipple compared to the Zero SLR, which caused a lot of issues with many of you in the comment section. So this bike here, Shimano Dura-Race Di2, their own carbon fibre tubeless wheels with 28mm wide Viatura Corsa tyres, cost about £9,000, but the range starts at 6.5 with Ultegra, so there are more affordable options, but I can't wait to ride this bike, and there will be a review on my channel, and you can see that review by clicking that subscribe button down below if you want to see it. And if you have any questions about this bike, what you want me to focus on when I do review it, let me know down below. So I can't wait to ride this bike. The Zero SLR, really impressed. This frame is just 90 grams heavier than that Zero SLR with all the aero improvements. So not much heavier, but it looks really, really fast. Yeah, pretty sensational bike. I feel very lucky to get the bike in for review. So stay tuned for that. Also follow me on Instagram, and I'll be giving you some behind the scenes on this bike when I test it, when it stops raining. Soon, hopefully. But that's all for now. Just my quick roundup of interesting cycling news from the world of cycling. Make sure you click subscribe. If you enjoy watching the video, hit the like button. Any question down below. And that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all again soon.